of the day. It maybe gets like 3 hours, 4 hours tops at the very end of the day. And this poor thing is just dried out and completely dead.
It's a chia fail.
That was the slow ritual torture murder of a chia pet.
This really upset you.
I just won't stand for it.
You know what this means, though. You're gonna have to do an SEO article on how to properly chia.
How to chia.
How to chia.
Do you own chia pets? Is this like a personal issue? Like a stance?
I have plants, and I feel like rule number 1 is sunlight. After that is water, and then you just don't have to think about it.
I have a chia Sasquatch at home that I killed within like a week.
Really?
So
That's actually the first chia pet I've ever seen in
How
real
long
life.
can a chia live, really? Like, once it grows out, like...
keep it,
resident chia expert, Drew.
if you keep, it's a plant, man.
Can-
Like if
do
you
you,
keep
like-
it like watered and with like enough nutrients.
Can you bonsai that thing like Mr. Miyagi?
That's the idea.
Just kind of like
You're
give it
supposed
a
to,
little
trim
trim.
I
The
think
one that we have in there is it's like a Duck Dynasty one. So it's
that's
the
the best.
dude's beard that you can trim down.
Is that what it was? I just thought it was
It
like
was-
one of those melted mountain
It
candles.
took me for a minute. I was scrutinizing this thing and I realized, where the hell did this come from? It was from the Christmas party. Somebody gave it as a white elephant gift.
Welcome to Trends with Benefit. This is Chia
podcasting.
Talk right here
Yeah,
today.
you're tuned into
Our
Chia Talk.
Chat.
Yeah, our weekly Chia Chat.
All right. I'm your host, Greg Nibbler, if you're watching live on YouTube right now. So we are going to talk about some tech topics. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to get to. But we want to hear your comments, so go ahead and pop those in there. If you're listening via podcast, you can always write them in afterwards. Let's go around here to our panel really quick before we get our final thoughts on chias before we get into some other stuff. We've got laser bazookas that we're going to talk about. We've got escaped robots. We've got iPhone 7 rumors. So it's all over the board today. But to my right, we have...
My name is Rick Stella. I am one of the staff writers here, and this was the first chia pet I've ever seen in real life.
Really?
Aside from
way.
the commercials. Yeah, I've never seen chia.
You haven't seen like the display
I've
stations?
seen the
Like,
displays, but every time I've seen it, there wasn't any like actually being grown. So
I
this
didn't
is
know
the first
people
one.
still bought chia pets. Like, that's the thing.
Every holiday they got commercials for them. That's really the only time that they're like...
It's right around
And
the
like whatever's
holidays.
current too.
They run the same commercial that they've run for the past like 3 decades.
They sell
and they
themselves,
sell-
really. They
yeah,
put them on a little end cap display at like
it's
your
such
Fred
a
Meyer or
half-assed gift. Like, I don't know what to get him. I'll get him a chia pet.
Weird
It's
plan.
novelty.
Donald Trump's hair or something. Yeah, right.
That's going to be the
Never
holiday
gets old.
season.
Yeah.
Do you know about the clapper?
No.
Oh man,
the
we gotta
clapper.
talk.
Clap
We
on.
gotta talk.
Oh,
Chia
I do-
pets, it's
sorry, I should
clappers.
say, I do know what the clapper is. I bought my girlfriend a
Not
clap on,
referring
clap
to
off
the
light.
STD. It's a piece of technology.
Right.
Like,
This isn't clap talk. This is it's chia talk.
chia chat.
It's not
Chia
mixing up
chat.
here.
Right.
Chia
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah. Clap chat.
Continuing on down the line.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I am Drew. I am the resident chia expert.
It's a new section we just opened last week.
That's all you need to
yeah,
know about
just
me.
chia content.
I'm Caleb, and I'm not sure why I work here anymore. To be honest with you.
Do you
How
know,
am I relevant? I
do you
don't
know
know.
anything about chia pets?
No, I'm done. I'm,
All right.
I'm out.
There's
Do you
gonna
have
be
a clapper
huge
at home?
I think I did try to do a chia pet once, and I think I got the mixture of water to seed mush wrong because I couldn't get to stay on the
Oh, yeah.
on the plastic thing. It just kept drooping. So I just ended up having like this bald thing with a bunch of grass growing around it. You know, it's like a bunch of
like in your lawn.
bunch of under hair going on there.
under hair.
Chia under hair. That's the new one right there.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, let's get off of chia pets for a minute. Let's go to lasers. So we're going to talk about a bunch of things today, but I had to start this off. I just saw this today, and you've probably seen videos of this kid before. He makes his own homemade lasers. He's going to end up either being a superhero or super villain. Like, we're going to know who this kid is in like 20 years,
Totally.
Right.
with his homemade laser guns. But he made a laser bazooka. And we've got video of it if you're watching live. He just makes these things at his house.
Sounds as cool. Like it looks as cool as it sounds.
It
a laser
is.
bazooka. This guy. Oh.
And he pieced it together with stuff he bought off of Craigslist, and he kind of explains it. There's a video explaining it. You can see it at digitaltrends.com. And the laser is apparently so bright you can't even look at it on the wall without possibly losing your eyesight. Again, I think it's like 30,000 times as bright as the sun or something along those lines.
330 million times.
330 million times, excuse me. That's
So I would, if I had that thing, I would. Oh, and it does burn
Holy
stuff.
shit. I was gonna say, is
Yeah.
that just like a glorified flashlight? But no, this thing is.
Wait a minute. Did
No,
he just
it's-
put a
That's a computer
magnifying glass?
Yeah, so
It's like
it's,
a
he has
Dell.
like a lens to
Yeah.
focus them all
Yeah.
down to one point, basically.
Dude, you know what I would do?
I mean, look at this. He blows up like cardboard boxes. He's got like
Yeah.
magnesium or something in there that he.
How old is this kid?
I don't know. He looks like he's 12, but
I love him.
assume he's
That's
a little bit older than
amazing.
that. That's what I mean. This kid, when he fully harnesses his power for good or evil, he is going to be a threat to somebody.
And one on each arm, and just terrorizing big cities all over the world.
Right?
I would set up a telescope, point it at the moon, and then I would aim it at the moon and see if I could
Just burn your
identify
name on the
a
moon.
little bit of a dot of light up on the moon. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That's what you would do with your power, just a tiny dot on the
not
moon.
my power, like this actual bazooka. Are you kidding me?
Our tides would never be the
I
same.
didn't realize we had gone into fantasy land, and I was
Right.
supposed to
I just don't know what is a dot on the moon going to do for you? Like, does that?
I just wanted to prove that I could actually light up the moon with my bazooka.
Yeah, I put a dot on the
laser.
moon once. Just letting you guys know.
Dude,
Just
come
draw
on,
some,
Tell me
like,
that wouldn't get
Cheeky
chicks.
smiley face.
It's the first thing you bring up at a party.
Hey, come over. I want to show you my laser.
Your first line in your Tinder profile, I put a dot on the moon. How would they say no to that?
Hold on a second.
wanna
He's
shine
updating
up.
it right now, yeah.
Put a dot on your moon when I put a light on your heart. There we go. That was terrible. That was
Nibbler the
terrible.
poet over
Right?
here.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'll write your Tinder profiles for you. So, so I want to start off with that. That's the laser bazooka from this kid. So it's at digitaltrends.com. Check that out. It's amazing. Again, this guy is going to, like, what else do you do past a laser bazooka? Like a laser tank?
The thing
Like,
is,
where do you
he's-
go?
I don't know. He actually mentions at the end of the video that he's got a couple other projects going on. And the funny thing about this one is, it's not even the first crazy laser thing that he's done. He's kind of been
Yeah.
ramping it up over the past year or so. So I really don't know where he's going to go from this. It's
I do.
okay. So before this, it was a laser shotgun. Before that, it was like a laser, like a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah, he had a lightsaber. And to clarify, this kid is, he's 23 years old. His name's Drake Anthony. From
What a name.
Goes by Styro Pyro. That's his handle.
Sounds about
We
right.
actually interviewed him on Digital Trends, so you should check it out because we've got some quotes from him. He's just been obsessed with lasers ever since he was a little kid, and through his entire education, he went to college. He's going to school for optics right now.
Wow.
So he's worked in a research lab with lasers, of course. Just an all-around genius with this stuff, and he just hacks together these ridiculous laser contraptions.
I don't understand why he's not doing a whole Real Genius thing here. Do you guys remember that movie by chance? No.
Real genius.
It was had Val Kilmer and these nerds at the school create this mega laser, and then as a practical joke, they load a bunch of popcorn into this professor's house, and then they shoot the laser off and bounce it all over campus, and then it arrives at the professor's house and explodes the popcorn all over up in his house. And
They
it's-
do
dude.
all that work
Yeah.
just to explode popcorn.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a very deep movie. It's much more involved than that, but
Styro Pyro, if you're listening,
pop some popcorn.
pop some popcorn.
Next idea, right there. All right, well, that's Styro Pyro. Let's go on to the next topic. So this is something that everybody always has their own opinions about. Everybody's got their theories about what's going to be coming out next, and it's Apple. And they haven't really had they haven't really had some big advancements with the iPhone in their recent ones that have come out. But the iPhone 7, rumored to be coming out later this year. Now there are more details kind of coming out as far as what people think is going to happen. Again, it's all conjecture. Apple could change it, but it's looking more and more likely that they've got a few things that they're going to be doing, one of which is getting rid of the actual button. It's going to be no touch. It'll just be a flat surface with haptic feedback. So getting rid of that main button on there, which, Rick, you've got that right there.
This one right here?
Yeah, the main button that's on there. So that's one of the rumors that is coming out. Also, that it won't be made of metal and it'll be waterproof. Which that seems like something that should have been done a long time ago.
Finally, Jesus,
Yeah, that's.
man.
I mean, I don't understand why that has taken so long to come out with.
Right.
Why can't it be metal and waterproof? I like
now
the
you're just
metal.
blowing minds
I
right
like
now.
I like the metal part. I didn't like the plastic on back when I had an iPhone with plastic backing. I like the
Yeah.
I like the metal, or even the glass, which of course cracks. But
So they're going to go back to, it's going to be plastic
No,
then?
it's going to be some kind of space age
right.
composite. I'm sure. I don't even know.
it'll be Sasquatch glass instead of
Sasquatch
Gorilla
glass.
glass. Yeah,
Right.
It's next level stuff.
A real nice cedar.
Joni Ive talking about.
They're artisan iPhones.
You probably never heard of
with
them.
the
Yeah,
most
right.
rich polyurethane.
Yeah. They smell of mahogany. They're pretty great.
You probably couldn't afford it. So well, that's one of the things.
They're gonna knock off the headphone jack
Yeah,
too,
that's
right?
And that's
it's
one of the
infuriating.
main things. So yeah, how do you guys think about that? Because it is going to make it, so you can have it a lot thinner. It'll be a lot smaller. well, I mean, not a lot. We're talking millimeters, but it will be thinner. And getting rid of the headphone jack altogether, I mean, it's going to be kind of a pain switching to Bluetooth headphones for everything, but it seems like that's inevitable, that the headphone jack's going to go away.
Well, Bluetooth isn't the only option. They'll just change it so that you can plug into the Lightning jack, and then the digital analog converter and the headphone amp will be in line. It'll be like in a little module along the line of your thing, or maybe it's actually in your over ear or on your headphones. If it's earbuds, then they're definitely going to have to put it in something little so that it's not, this big bulb jutting out of your ear. But yeah, I mean, it's ultimately going to result in better sound, if they use decent components. But I think it's a terrible idea. I'm like, you're really working really, really hard at trying to be different and push things along in a new way. And I just don't think that. I don't know. I feel like it alienates a lot of people. Yeah. Plus, that's one less thing that they have to stick in the box, isn't it? What about your white ear
It's another upgrade that you have to buy from Apple to get.
Well, and if you do want to use your conventional wired headphones, then you have to buy an adapter, and that's another accessory sale for them. But it's also another thing for you to carry around.
Yeah.
And that just sounds like a hassle. I don't know. I don't see people really buying this. I think it's premature.
I feel like, I appreciate their attempt to push things forward, get us past the headphone jack. It's been around for a while. That's cool, but I'm also, I don't know. I don't want to have to buy new headphones.
Right, it's not a problem.
I think this is going to backfire on them. I think that this is not going to be received well at all.
But don't you think this is inevitably how it's going to go for everything? Like the headphone jack seems like set. Eventually, it's got to change. I mean, how long?
They might just be way too ahead of the curve, though. I don't. I don't have any issue with the headphone jack. I'm not not everyone's not switching to Bluetooth
right.
Everybody on mom, but
I think when the truly wireless earbud technology gets to where it needs to be, I think people are going to really dig that. Just two little tiny buds in your ear, and that's it. No wires, no cable connecting them. Super simple. Ideally, battery life will get improved in time, but yeah, until then, I just feel like plus look, there's people out there who have a collection of headphones that they really love, and they don't want. Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's too soon. I think they're too ahead of the curve, like Rick was saying.
Well, one thing that another rumor that's going to be with this, speaking of wireless, is wireless charging for the new phone. That I love because I'm an Android user, but I can tell you right now, Android chargers are the worst. No matter what one I've gotten, it will stop working within 2 months.
Are you talking about the cable?
Talking about the cable, the actual charger. So if I could go wireless and not ever have to deal with that, granted that's an Android, not an iPhone, but just the idea of getting rid of a wall charger altogether is fantastic. I think if that's what they're going to figure out how to do, that's way ahead of its time.
Are they just stock induction chargers?
I'm assuming
standard?
Probably.
Yeah, is how it'll work.
Maybe that's why they're not going to have a metal back on the.
So that's
actually a pretty good theory right there.
Oh.
Yeah. So the materials would have to be compliant with inductive charging.
That could be it.
But gosh, why do I sound so boring today? I'm usually cutting jokes. And that seems
entirely
dropping knowledge. Yeah.
iPhone
entirely plausible.
Right. Well, back to Chia Pets. Yeah. All right.
No kidding.
Well, there we go. Those are the rumors with the iPhone 7. So there's a whole article that just came out at digitaltrends.com. You can check that out. There's a video kind of going over what we think is going to happen. Who knows? It always changes as you go through, but it's starting to take shape. Those are the things that Apple's going to be going for. Caleb, let's go to something else. So you haven't been on the show for a couple of weeks.
That's right.
Because you've been
gone
traveling around on your adventures, and you were in New York for an event for King of TV.
I mean, the big event, the King of TV.
The King of TV.
The bigger event was called CE Week, and the idea is to kind of bridge the gap between the CESs. So it happens right in the middle, this is something that's been going on for 12 years. It only recently moved out of Scarsdale, where the sponsor of the whole thing, Value Electronics, has a retail location. He serves very well-to-do people and sells them TVs. That's where this all started about 12 years ago. They just moved it to Manhattan so more press could come and more people could make it. And I think it's the third year that they've done it in Manhattan. Point being, they stack up the flagship televisions from the top manufacturers, put them right next to each other. Mm-hmm. And then for 4 grueling hours, and you got to understand, I love TV and stuff like that, but oh my word, 4 long, drawn-out hours of going over every little element of all of these TVs.
Is it like white gloves? You get out there and like inspect everything? Or?
No, but there are measurement meters. There are lots of test disc patterns. A lot of waxing philosophical about HDR, coming to 4K and everything that means.
Oh, how many of you are doing this while that is happening? Or do you get your own amount of time with them?
No. What they do is they have several sessions. So they had 3 1-hour press sessions one day, and then 2 4-hour sessions for the general public, anybody who wanted to come, and then a few calibrators and just, TV nerds, basically.
Okay.
I mean, I think everybody there would admit, yes, we are TV nerds. That's what we do. And so, yeah, we're not actually going up and touching them so much as they're being put through all these different paces, and we're watching that go down. And in the room is anywhere from 20 to, 30 people at a time or whatever. And that's why they do multiple sessions, because they want to show it to as many people as they can.
What do they play on the TVs?
Well, mostly... test patterns.
Oh, well, that's boring.
It sure is. And actually the only like moving footage that we saw on the TV was just how when you queue up a Blu-ray or DVD or something like that, you get the kind of the menu screen.
Yeah.
And it's just some lame 20-second loop of flash cut video, various scenes.
Why
of the
wouldn't they
movie.
have something on there?
That's
so you
all
can
they
see
played. That's all they played. They didn't really. That's not fair. They did stream something in Dolby Vision off of Netflix in the Vizio TV that they had there. But the LG G6 OLED, the Samsung KS9800, the Sony X940D, and the Vizio Reference Series.
And these are all televisions out on the market right now.
Oh yeah. I felt like the Vizio. I didn't like seeing that particular TV there at this time, because the model that they had, it just didn't look right to me. It didn't look like it was a very fair fight with that Vizio. I haven't really put my opinion out there. I just reported what happened at the scene, and I had a couple of speaking roles there, so that's another reason I was there, was as a guest speaker. But yeah, I mean, if you ask my opinion, I think the TV shootout is a lot of fun, and I think it's good to kind of compare and contrast the TVs and tell people what's different about them, which one does this better and which one does that better. If you're looking to slap down that much money on a TV, you want to know you're walking away with the best for you.
What's the average price of those?
I would say between $3,500 and $8,000.
All right. Ooh. Yeah, that's steep.
Well, you're looking at, somewhere between 35 and 55 for really big LED, LCD TVs, and then the OLED it was their flagship OLED, so it's up in the $8,000, $7,000 range.
Yeah.
And how many inches were these? How big were they?
Well, that's the other thing. They weren't all the same size, so
that makes it tricky.
We had a 65 next to a 74, next to a 75, next to a 65. So the Samsung and Sony were the big bad daddies, and the reason why was because those. In some cases, you can't get the best performing TV in a size smaller than that. You have to buy the big grande version. And LG doesn't make a commercially available OLED bigger than 65 inches. And the reference series from Vizio tops out at 65 as well. So it was kind of by need. You couldn't match the sizes, because if you did that, you would step down the Sony and Samsung to a lower level. And it wouldn't be a fair fight, because then you wouldn't be comparing flagship TVs. Right. So you see, it gets kind of sticky. A lot of people want to scrutinize the testing process. I just thought it was cool to see these TVs all up close. Mm-hmm. The OLED won by a landslide, and I'm not sure it should have won by such a huge margin.
Who made the OLED?
But it did.
LG, the only one that makes an OLED.
Oh yeah, and if
Still
you're
top
watching
dog,
live,
huh?
there is a video.
That's me playing around with the
I'm sure
LG
you've been seeing.
G6 signature. It's an OLED panel mounted on a thin pane of glass, and you can see it just looks amazing even from behind. And then they put all the guts in that soundbar base. Sort of.
So a soundbar base kind of at the bottom there.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, it's a gorgeous TV. It looks amazing. It won by a landslide. Second to that was the Sony X940D, actually beat out the Samsung. And then the Samsung in third place, and the Vizio was a distant fourth, which, again, I don't think this was a representative example of Vizio's best TV.
Okay. And all of this is at digitaltrends.com, too.
Your
reviews.
You can read all about it. There were about 80 ballots cast, and you can see how what the different categories for judgment were and what the averages were across those 80 ballots.
Wow. That's 80 of you were in there?
Well, I mean, over the course of 2 days, 80 ballots were
80 different
cast.
people came in and
That's
cast
pretty
those.
cool, though.
But yeah,
We'll crown the
total
king of
TV
TV.
Nerd Fest. It was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of stuff, and also learned about where TV technology is going in the future. You're going to want to keep your eye out on Digital Trends for an article about QLED. We
What?
have OLED.
What?
Here comes QLED.
Can you talk about this?
Quantum.
I can.
dot
It is.
What is
Okay.
QLED?
Well, it's a not so clever name for a quantum dot OLED television. Sort of. There's two ways they could do it. But if Nanosys, which is the company that makes quantum dot sheets for Samsung, if they have their way, they'll figure out how to make quantum dots. Right now, quantum dots work by shining light on them. Right, photons go at them, and then they glow.
Okay.
And right now they create perfect white light. And then the color filter on a TV has a much easier time making a pretty picture, and it's a lot brighter, and it just looks better, right? And a lot of other companies are doing something similar. Instead of shining light on a film and getting white light, what they're saying is quantum dots can actually be illuminated with voltage, just like an OLED cell. So we just put a compound of this material that when you apply electricity, it glows, just like an OLED, right? Only these are supposed to be much brighter, last a lot longer. And you could remove the color filter from the television entirely, and I mean it would be a game changer.
Wow. All right. So QLED.
Yeah.
QLED. And there's an article coming out on digitaltrends.com.
Yeah, I mean it's sciencey stuff, and I hope I'm not putting anybody to sleep. But like as far as TVs go, like it's the next level stuff. The thing that's most important to know about it is that it will instantaneously be cheaper. And easier to manufacture than OLED TVs are right now, and you can scale them right up. So
their top of the line would come out cheaper than OLED would be immediately.
yeah, depending on where OLED goes between now and when they get that stuff ready.
That makes sense.
But yeah, either way, like the really amazing TVs that only the rich people can get right now, that kind of an experience is going to trickle down to guys like you and me.
Yeah.
3 years.
3 years
Give it
we'll be
3 or
able to get
4
those
years.
kinds.
By 2020, definitely we are all
gonna have
rolling
OLED.
in the awesome TVs. Yeah.
All right.
QLED TV.
Rolling in QLED. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
All right, let's switch gears to something else. So this is something also that's going to be coming to the future, and I think it's already going to be happening in Japan. And it's a company called smart data storage company called Cloudian, and a Japanese advertising firm Dentsu. They're launching a program with smart billboards for highways. So what these things are going to do is they will scan cars that are passing. So I don't know how far out they're going to be able to scan. It must be a ways. And they will scan cars for different models and different makes, and they will target advertisements with these digital billboards to the make and model of the car. Like assuming probably different kinds of things. I'm guessing they're gonna like assume, okay, if you're driving a BMW, you probably want to see about this. You might be in this kind of demographic, or if you're driving, a piece of crap station wagon, you're gonna be in this. Or if you're driving my old beater truck, it's gonna be cheap stuff.
And this stuff is going to be
Possible ribbon.
displayed on the billboard that's on the side of
Yeah,
the road.
yeah. So it'll change based on that.
This seems like it's
advertising.
Yeah, directed advertising. on
yeah,
the
except
billboard.
it's still going to be directed to like one person of all of the people on the road, right? So what if it picks
Yeah.
out like the guy that's driving just like a beater old Honda Civic, and
Yeah.
they're just like, well, you look like we should just advertise Pabst Blue Ribbon to you.
Yeah,
and everybody else is
that's
going,
what I
what the
said,
hell?
Why is there a Massengill ad as you drive by? I don't understand.
Hot Pockets.
I don't
You look like
understand.
you're-
Actually, why not just scan the license plate, access their equivalent of the DMV database, know who it is, and then access
Go
all the
down to that.
information that Google has about that person and advertise to them that way.
I'm sure they could end up doing that. I mean, the way it is right now, once the system identifies a vehicle, the targeted ad will last for 5 seconds, up to 5 seconds. So it'll just be a flash for that person, then change for the next ones that come through. They give an example here, and this is all at digitaltrends.com. You can read this article. The choice of ads to be displayed to specific vehicles is determined by the advertisers. So people driving a 5-year-old vehicle might see an ad for a newer model of the same car, or truck drivers might be shown ads.
Shit. You want to
for-
buy a better one?
Right. Buddy, might want to.
Wow.
Truck-
Those tires? Yeah.
Truck drivers might be shown ads for upcoming trucker-friendly stops.
Oh,
You get really
This one
sad
has the
on
best hookers. Keep going.
I've
Yeah.
heard about those trucks.
Is that still a thing? Are there still truck stop?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
I mean,
a
I'm
huge one in
Oh, I mean,
Troutdale.
I know truck stops are still
Oh.
big, but the
truck stop hookers.
yeah.
Is
I
that
just
still a
wanted
thing?
you to say it.
Like we're all like well versed. Like nothing will match 1998, but
That was the best
yeah,
year.
right. That era of truck stop hookers
The
was great.
salad days.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Everybody remembers '98.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this is what they're going to go with. This is a thing. You know this is going to be coming here too. Like it's how we're going to have to get used to it. This smart advertising.
Oh,
I know
When you were
Caleb,
talking about the like walking into Target and I'm seeing like, oh, like,
Yeah.
hey, like we recognize
That's
you.
true. He likes khakis. Let's send him over
Right,
here.
exactly. That's
Actually,
a guy
that's-
that wears a
that's
t-shirt
totally
every
coming.
now and
That's
So-
a man who loves chia pets. Let's get him over.
It's a different kind of technology, but the next version of Bluetooth is going to come out.
Yeah.
Bluetooth 5 or whatever. And part of that is that it's going to work better with like Bluetooth beacons. So a store, a retail center could set up these beacons and instantly communicate with your phone. So there's no.
So your phone's going to give up your info and
Well, yeah, it would give up a little info about you if you let it, and then
Bastard.
it's going to be able to direct you to things that it knows you want. I mean, if you let's say you made a shopping list, and you don't know where the frickin' push pins are.
Yeah.
It's going to be like,
It'll just direct you to where you need to go.
A little display, it's going to say go to aisle 26 for the push pins or something.
They actually
like
do that at
Wow.
some
It's already
sports stadiums now.
Yeah.
They do it. I saw like a presentation a few months ago at a Blazer game about it.
It's
And
already
they
happening. It's
like,
just
lead
that-
you, like, where can I get memorabilia or food or whatever, and the beacons will.
Yeah, Bluetooth 5
Send to
just
your
makes
phone.
it way easier. Extends the range out
Yeah.
well past 100 feet.
Uh-huh.
It's super low energy, and it doesn't require any pairing on your part. You don't have to pair to that Bluetooth thing.
it just automatically
automatically.
picks it up.
Instant communication. It
Oh, wow.
knows.
Yikes.
But the good thing about that is that it knows what it's supposed to do. So if you connect to a Bluetooth speaker, both devices know you're trying to play music, and so it should activate that protocol. Whereas it's something completely different if you're Bluetoothing photos to to somebody next to you, or
Right.
again this whole retail situation. It's a really cool evolution, but. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to feel creepy about being marketed to. They already feel weird when they're surfing the internet. It's like, hey, that's really interesting that you should be showing me, Scooby-Doo underwear. I was just talking about Scooby-Doo
Well,
underwear
it's
the
like
other
the
day.
Facebook thing that that Facebook listens to you. Like there was like
I'm
plenty
afraid of
times.
scanning your phone.
Oh no, I mean, look, I just said
Scooby-Doo
Scooby-Doo
underwear.
underwear. I'm gonna go
Right.
sit
How
down
are
at
you
my
gonna see
desk
it?
and I'm gonna get advertisements from Amazon. I guarantee.
But like Facebook listens to you and you'll say that, or you're like even can talk about somebody and it'll show you on like your suggested friends list, or like it'll bring
Yeah.
up like targeted advertising if you're talking about Scooby-Doo underwear. Your phone will listen to you and like it accesses your microphone. And they like no secret about it. They say, yeah, we listen to you talking.
Yeah.
Which is a kind of a crazy thing to think that you have to like watch what you say around your phone because it will start targeting
Yeah.
advertisement.
I mean, everything can listen in. I mean, you got the smart television issue where people were getting eavesdropped on. I know that was a while ago, but
Yep.
still,
Right.
all that's possible.
We have microphones
In
connected to
every-
the internet
yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
My house. I mean, it's amazing that I've got the Amazon Echo speaker. I've got several laptops open and running, a webcam connected to a PC, my phone, tablet, smart TV.
Right. Any one of them
Xbox.
could be on.
Like there's so
I
many.
mean, even Mark Zuckerberg in that picture, that still image, had a Band-Aid over his or a
Yeah.
piece of tape over his
Thing,
camera.
right. How good did that make you feel?
Oh, it made
you
me
had
feel
it last
great.
time,
I know.
your
Yeah,
last
no, this
computer.
is
Yeah.
this is DT's. Mine, it's got a Band-Aid on
Right,
it.
yeah.
Nobody can see. Nobody
Right.
wants to see it anyway.
You got
but-
a lot of flack for that, I remember. That, like,
Oh yeah. But see, now I've got
Right.
Zuckerberg to back me up on
Exactly.
that. Well, so all of that is coming. The final thing we need to talk about, and this was a subject a couple of weeks ago. You would think they would have solved it by now, and it is the escaping robot from Russia.
I love
It's
this.
back.
It's back.
Back again.
But maybe not for long. That's the problem. So it's the PromoBot IR77, and it escaped. It's a smart robot. Let's see, where is that? They're working on with AI, so it learns from its environment. It can recognize faces, and it's kind of looks a little bit like the short circuit robot, like Johnny Five.
Slapped with like clip
Johnny
art on it or
Five.
something.
Johnny Five is alive, and it kind of looks like that. And so what happened is this robot a couple of weeks ago just went out the door and went out into traffic. It didn't make it. I don't think it made it too far the first time. I think that's
He's
what
getting
the video
arrested
is.
in
It
the
just
middle of
made
the
it to the street and
Right.
then the battery died.
Yeah, and well, it got out again, and this time,
Freedom.
the second time, I think it's the second time that it just did this. It made it out for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
And
Where'd it go this time?
Went
The
just
Taco
across
Bell
the
down the
city, went on its
street,
own
like,
little journey and trip.
Does anybody understand why it's leaving?
It's learning. That's the thing. It
Oh,
knows
okay.
it's like I must escape, must escape. You know.
Catches a glimpse of the outside world.
Yeah, and it went for 45 minutes. I don't know, trying to find a mate. I don't know. Like it went 45 minutes until like the battery died in the middle of traffic again. And there's just this video of this Russian police officer who's clearly confounded, can't figure out what the hell this thing is, and all this traffic trying to go around it. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But they're talking about now they might have to put it down.
Wow. The stories that are going to be around this are going to be amazing. My question is like, is there nobody watching the front door of this like science center? Like, and it's just
Russia. Yeah.
right? Yeah. So all the doors are open in Russia.
Everybody's too busy drinking vodka to recognize that the
Exactly,
freaking
yeah.
robots escaping.
Where is
Yeah.
So good.
Or does it just have access to all of the electronics in the building? Like, can it just remotely open the
Maybe
door
it's-
because it's a robot and it's like connected to their like infrastructure?
That's
I don't
our
know.
real life R2D2. That is exactly what's going on right
Well,
there.
I mean, I got to say, it's a pretty incredible achievement if they get this robot that can escape. It also says a lot about the Russians and their security that they can't contain.
What kind of
even
doors
this
do
thing.
you have?
Right.
I know
One, like-
kids that struggle with like door handles.
Right.
This thing doesn't even have arms and
No.
it's escaping.
I'm out of here.
And like successfully escaping twice in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to put it down, is what they're saying. They might
Just
have
my
to.
No,
gosh.
just get a better lock on your door.
I mean, who knows exactly what's gonna happen with it? But it's pretty amazing. I say, bring the promo bot over here. Let's give him a new home. Maybe that's what he wants. Let's try.
Actually, no, I think
try
they're
to
right.
defect.
We do need to put this thing down just to send a message to the
the
rest of the
them.
robots.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or that's going to
We
inspire
do
them.
control
you know that's what Putin's order was. That's already been issued.
The robots are already thinking for themselves. Get this down.
And they don't even unplug it like someone shot it in the head. You know?
God, yeah. Robot is dying.
Yeah, right. We kill him.
It's going
Finish
to
him.
inspire a
It's the
whole
only
new,
way we know.
a
Yeah.
whole new group of robots.
Exactly.
They're gonna remember Promobot. There'll be statues made of Promobot somewhere
What's
in the future.
Promobot's actual job? Like, what's it supposed to
Sounds
do?
like he's a
It
promoter.
says
Yeah, right.
Well,
Directed
recognize names
advertising.
and faces.
Funny
Yeah.
you should ask. Sorry, what?
It doesn't really say. It's just
Promobot
it's
77.
an AI that can recognize names and faces of the people he meets, as well as learn and repeat tasks from memory. Oh, so it's remembering how it got out.
Repeat tasks.
Yeah.
He's mopping, picking up trash.
Oh yeah, I'd want to escape
What?
too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like way more exciting up there. Well, that is the Promobot IR77. You can watch that video. We've got a bunch of it at digitaltrends.com, just like all the articles we've been talking about. And so if you have any topics you want us to cover next week, we do the show every Thursday, live at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, and then of course available as a podcast. Send in your questions, your topics, podcast at digitaltrends.com, and we'll hit up whatever you want to talk about. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Any final thoughts on Chia Pet, since I know I have to make that the start of the show now?
I don't know. Do you think we can
Drew?
revive the one in the kitchen?
Yeah, maybe with a little bit of water. It did look bone dry. I'll give it a douse.
Okay,
and
well, we'll
resurrect it.
stay tuned for that. That's a tease for next week.
Will it live or not?
Put a bullet in it.
Let's put a
All right.
webcam on it.
we need to put our chia
We
pet
have
down.
a Chia cam.
Yeah, right.
You know that Promobot was going out for a truck stop hooker.
He was.
You know that's where it was
That's
going.
what is
He
happening.
was,
All
yeah.
right, thanks everybody. We'll be back next week with another episode.
Out.